The coordinate plane is used to locate objects in two-dimensional space. All it is made up of is two number lines, one that's horizontal and one that's vertical. And we give them names. The horizontal number line we call the x-axis. And we can put numbers like a number line on them. I'm skipping the blue ones. And then here's your negative numbers, just like the number line you see in the classroom. The vertical number line, again, is just a number line where the positive numbers are above and the negative numbers are below. The place where they intersect is an important point. The coordinates there are 0, 0, and we call it the origin. And just so we communicate, we give each one of these quadrants a name, actually a Roman numeral. They're called quadrants because you have taken your coordinate plane and broke it into 4 parts. And we start over here and call this quadrant 1. And then we move counterclockwise across the coordinate plane. Again, we use Roman numerals. Anytime you see those, it's a marking for a quadrant. A little trick to help you remember which way the quadrants go because they're going so weird. I use this idea of the letter C in coordinate, and so if you think of making a C for coordinate plane, it kind of tells you the direction in which the Roman numerals are written. So I mentioned that the coordinate plane is used to find objects' locations in a two-dimensional space. And what I mean by two-dimensional is horizontal and vertical, just like that number line. So our two dimensions here are this dimension of your x-axis combined with the dimension in the other direction of your y-axis. And it's just like playing Battleship, if you ever played that game, where you name off 2 coordinates and that tells you the location of the battleship. Well, we do the same thing here. We use what's called a coordinate pair. And here you see an example of one. And the important thing to remember in a coordinate pair is your x-coordinate always comes first, and then your y-coordinate. And a way to remember that is it's alphabetical, x, y, and then eventually z, and we'll get to that. So x tells you your location on the x-coordinate, and y tells you the location on your y-coordinate. So you put the two together and come up with a coordinate pair. So this coordinate pair here, -3, 2, is found by always starting at the origin, and the -3 means you move left 3 in the x direction, and the 2, because it's positive, means we go up 2. Okay, so those negative and positive signs are telling you a direction. If it's positive, you're going to move to the right or up, and if it's negative, you're going to move to the left or down, depending which coordinate it is. So I want you to find the ordered pair for -3, as it says here. Did you find it yet? So 4, -3 means, again, starting at the origin, you're going to move 4 places to the right because it's positive. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're going to move down 3 spaces because it's a -3. So 1, 2, 3 from there. And so this coordinate pair is describing that point in that location. Now I'd like you to practice some more. Here I want you to plot all the coordinate points on this coordinate plane and use the letters to signify which point represents which letter. And then I would also like you to go back and tell me what quadrant each one of those is in. So here's an example. Letter A is 2, 4, and so you're going to move from the origin right 2 and up 4, and that's that point, and label it A, and because that's in quadrant 1, just put a Roman numeral 1 by it. Go ahead and pause the video. So let's talk about these answers a little bit. Perhaps you noticed that letter C wasn't in any quadrant. Well, the way we mark that then is the axis that it was lying on. So because 0, 3 is on your y-axis, you just label it with that, or x-axis as D was. Now I'd like you to actually write the coordinate pair. Remember, coordinate pairs always have those parentheses and a comma between the two coordinates. That's communicating with who's ever looking at it that you're talking about a coordinate. So we'll do letter A together. Letter A is right here. Well, that's the letter. The actual point is right there. And so if I wanted to write the coordinate for letter A, you make the parentheses with a comma in between, and then you label your x-axis first. So if you were starting at the origin, you went over 2 places, and so your x-axis has a coordinate of 2, and then from there you went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places, and so your y-coordinate is a 5. Go ahead and label B, C, D, E, and F, and make sure to watch for negative signs when you move to the left or down. Pause the video. And here are the answers for those dots. I get that some of the green dots weren't totally on the grid nicely, but this is what I meant by them. If you wanted more practice or fun games with coordinate pairs and plotting them and identifying them, these are really 2 fun games. They're goofy. Go ahead and play those for extra practice.